Let's make a long scarf using our 48 needle Sentro circular knitting machine, or you could use your 40 needle circular knitting machine. You will need to know how to cast on using the waste yarn method, the optional ravel cord, and cast off using the waste yarn method. If you need a slower step-by-step tutorial on how to do these, I will have that linked in the video description below. The yarn that I'm using for this project is the Premier Basics Tweed yarn, which is a thicker number 4 worsted yarn. I had a little bit of issue with this yarn because it was so thick. I'm using 2 skeins of this yarn, but I will walk you through some of the tips I had on how I was able to make it work. First, we're going to cast on with our waste yarn or scrap yarn. And as this is the cast on, I like to do about 5 to 8 rows. This is in a similar weight yarn to your project yarn, but in a contrasting color. Next, we're going to do 1 row of our ravel cord. This is again in a similar weight yarn to our waste yarn and our project yarn, but in a different color so we can tell the difference. Now you'll notice I did make a mistake there. When I went to put on my ravel cord, I put it on the opposite side of the white needle. I had started this project doing everything on the left side, like how I'm adding on my project yarn here. When I did the ravel cord, I put it on the right side of my white needle. Not as big of a deal with the ravel cord or the waste yarn, but you definitely want to make sure you do the same sides when you are adding on yarn skeins for your project yarn. This helps prevent drop stitches as well as keep your rows even, especially important when you're changing colors. Now, another thing to know is because there are so many rows with a scarf is I start rolling it up into a ball in the middle of my project, and this helps keep it so it doesn't twist at the bottom and kind of bind up the machine. Now that all my project rows are done, we're going to add on our waste yarn, and this is the cast off side for the waste yarn, so it's the easier to unravel to remove from your project when you're done with it. So I'm not going to add a ravel cord, I'm just going to let the yarn run out. And then I'll crank it around 1 time without any yarn, and then the second time the project will fall off the machine, so it makes it super easy to remove the project from the machine. Now we want to make it knit side out, and before we close the ends of our tube flat, we want to knot down or tie off where we added our second yarn skein. You want to tie it so you get the same tension of the knit stitch looking at it from the exterior, and I do about 4 handover knots. Now we need to close the end of our tube flat, and we don't want our project to be twisted. So I put the tail ends of my project yarn on the tube here at the bottom, and then I count 24 stitches on either side, and I mark each 24 stitches. This ensures me that I'm closing my tube flat and I don't twist my project when I close the other side. You'll also see where I had a drop stitch where that waste yarn was, and so I put in a stitch marker just to hold that stitch until I get there. Now we're going to slip stitch the tube flat using a crochet hook. If you would like a more in-depth step-by-step tutorial on how to count your stitches and close the tube flat using a slip stitch, I have a slower, more in-depth tutorial linked in the video description below. But we just go back and forth slip stitching down the tube flat, and here's where I had that drop stitch that I just put in my stitch marker with so it wouldn't continue to drop. It just didn't connect to my waste yarn, and then I'm able now to close it down. And the biggest thing you want to make sure you do is you want to get every single project stitch, which is the first row of gray yarn that's sandwiched in between my yellow scrap yarn. So you can see here why it's really important to have a contrasting color for your scrap yarn or your waste yarn you're using, so you can easily identify what is your project yarn so you know which stitches to pick up. Because once we've picked up all the stitches and we remove this waste yarn, if you missed a stitch, it will unravel that entire row. It will drop once we remove the waste yarn because it's not secured. It's a live stitch. So I like to count my stitches, making sure that I pick up all 48. When you get closer down to the tail ends of our scrap yarn and our project yarn, that's where they can sometimes hide. So take your time and make sure you count. I use the 48 needle machine, so I have 48 stitches. If you have the 40 needle machine, you'll have 40 stitches. Now I'm removing the waste yarn. This was the cast off side, so it's really easy to pull the tail into the yarn and it just unravels and comes off of our project. Now I'm just going to tie a knot and I'm going to hide in the excess tail end of our yarn in between the two layers and cut off any excess. Now this is the cast on side that had our optional ravel cord, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm picking up my project stitches. This is the 24th stitch on either side of my tube, and I slip stitch them back and forth all the way down. Another way you can check to make sure that you have all the stitches picked up is you'll see this kind of zigzag or X pattern that it makes. If you see a big hole in between your line, that means you skipped a stitch. So you just want to undo your slip stitches, go back, pick up the stitch where the hole is, and then redo your slip stitches all the way down. So here I am at the end of the project. This is where they can sometimes hide, so just make sure you get them all. And then I use my tail yarn to secure the last stitch. And now we can remove our ravel cord. And first we pull our white tail end of our ravel cord. Again, you can see why it's good to know which yarn is which, so different colors are really helpful at this point. And at first they just seem like they disappear, but it hasn't removed the waste yarn from the project. So you want to give it an even tighter pull, and then you'll see your project kind of scrunch up. That's okay because we're removing the yarn from the project. It's unknitting as we pull it out. Once we have that ravel cord completely removed, now our waste yarn will just fall off and we had all of our stitches secured, and so nothing will unravel. This project ended up being 64 inches long. I at least like 60 inches for my scarves, and it was 346 rows in total. Now, like I said, this was a bit thicker yarn that was a little bit temperamental on my machine. For tension, I had first had it in the most outer hole, the largest hole of my tension bar, and I kept getting a ton of tuck stitches. I ended up moving it to my middle hole of my tension bar, and then also used my left hand to create more tension, and that seemed to help it. Also, adding claw weights as I was cranking out my rows to the fabric also helped give it more tension and reduce the tuck stitches. Lastly, because this was so thick, I only hand cranked this one. I did not use my drill attachment. And I had to definitely go a lot slower to making sure I didn't bind up my machine. So this is probably the thickest yarn I'll be able to use on my machine. I will also link in the description my video on tuck stitches and things I do to fix them and help to prevent them. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hit that like and follow, and happy crafting, everyone.